Hello, and welcome to Group 7's presentation on the Yelp dataset. We are taking the standpoint of a team of data analysts from GW, and we are going to be making an investment recommendation to a private equity firm. This is a quick overview of the agenda, our goals and objectives, a couple of our data steps, and key variables that we're going to go over. Our goals and objectives for this is to come up with a recommendation to a private equity firm on what type of business industry and what city they should consider investing in. These are a few of our data preparation steps, starting with looking at the Yelp data set, doing some cleaning, consolidation, transformation, and finally data reduction. We had 5 different data sets that we looked at in the Yelp JSON files. We read them into pandas so that we could use them as working data frames, and we also had to find the common key between all of the different data sets so that we could join them together, and we also utilized SQL to join these together. Here were the 5 data sets: business, check-in, tip, user, and review. One of the first dimensions that we explored was number of stars, the review count, and the check-in frequency. And then after we looked at those, we further reduced our data set down by industry, and we chose restaurants, shopping, and food. Because our data set was so geographically diverse, we wanted to choose one East Coast city, one West Coast city, and one international city to provide a good mix to our investors. So we looked at the top 10 cities with the most amount of unique businesses on Yelp, and we decided on Charlotte, Scottsdale, and Montreal due to their similar business concentration. For the analysis and workflow, we did a little bit of generic analysis on each of these. You can see the distribution of review counts, the distribution of star ratings by city, and then we also looked at the frequency distribution of check-ins for each day of the week. And it's no surprise that on Saturday and Sunday we see a heavier inflow of customers visiting businesses, whereas Monday through Friday is a little bit less. Next, we also wanted to look at the key points for businesses that are open and businesses that have closed. As you can see here, for average star comparison, there really isn't that much of a difference, but when you look at the average review count and the average check-in frequency, for the businesses that have shut down, there was a much lower check-in and much lower review count left for those businesses. When we decided to narrow it down by industry, we wanted to look at the 3 targets that had the most amount of businesses within each category. So we chose restaurants, shopping, and food. And here's the distribution by industry for each city when it comes to their star rating. We also did a comparison for star rating among industry and cities. As you can see here, Montreal actually has the higher star rating for both restaurants and food, and Scottsdale has the highest average star rating for shopping. However, when we look at the average review counts, there's a huge jump here for Scottsdale. Scottsdale has much higher review counts for restaurants and shopping and food. And the same can be said for check-in. If we look at the average check-in counts for restaurants, shopping, and food, Scottsdale has the most across the board. So from this, we were able to see some different behaviors of our customers in different regions, the check-in frequency, and we were able to see how review count, star rating, and check-in impacts success or failure. We narrowed down our cities to Scottsdale, Montreal, and Charlotte. Our final decision was to recommend investors invest in a restaurant in Scottsdale. And from there, we further limited our scope down to different postal codes. And the way that we determined these specific set of postal codes for restaurants within Scottsdale is we looked at the top 75%. So if investors can focus on restaurants that have over a 4.0 rating and also a review count of over 143, they will be within the top 75th percentile for those metrics. So we would recommend that they invest in restaurants in Scottsdale that have a 4.0 rating and over 143 review counts. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you.